Welcome to the Wellness Revolution Podcast, the radio show all about wellness in your mind, body, spirit, personal growth, sex, and relationships. Stay tuned for weekly interviews featuring guests that have achieved physical, mental, and spiritual health in their lives. If you'd like to have access to our entire back catalog, visit drveronica.com for instant access. And here is your host, Dr. Veronica.
I'm Dr. Veronica, drveronica.com. I am a medical doctor and a medical intuitive. I help people see clearly. In the first part of my career, that was as an eye surgeon, but now it's as the clairvoyant doctor and health coach. And I'm helping you see what you don't get to see every day in healthcare, in life, in relationships, but especially with your body and mind and how they link together and what's going on that people can't be so healthy. I have here with me my trusty co-host, Russell Cook. He's the guy with the voice that you hear a lot with me. And so Russell's going to jump in and out. Say hi, Russell.
Hi. How are you, Veronica? Good to be here.
Well, so I want to introduce my next guest really quickly to you so we have a lot of time to talk to her and so you can hear all the wonderful things that she has to say. She is a very learned woman and a prolific author. Her name is Dr. Carolyn Dean, and she is an MD and also an ND. So she is a naturopathic physician and a traditional MD. And we're going to talk a little bit about how she became both and why she became both. But one of the favorite titles that you want to know about today in America is her book called Death by Modern Medicine. I tell people all the time, for every dollar that's spent on a pharmaceutical, there is $1 treated on a side effect. Do you understand? We are having just as many side effects from the medicine that we're given as treatments, and the medicine that we're giving most of the time doesn't cure it, puts a Band-Aid on the problem and just obscures what needs to be cured and what's going on underlying. So I'm going to bring on Dr. Carolyn Dean. Dr. Dean, thank you for being on the show.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Veronica and Russell, for having me.
So, Dr. Dean, tell us about Death by Modern Medicine first. It's just such an interesting title. I agree with it. Amazing. How did you end up writing that book?
Well, I was interested in a line of herbal products. I've been doing a homeopathic acupuncture injectable treatment, and I wanted to turn it into a herbal capsule treatment. And I began to find out back in 2004, 2005 that there was something called Codex Elementaris, which is the World Health Organization and the World Health Organization and the International Organization that controls supplements and food. It'll come to me in a minute. They wanted to legislate what supplements and what foods could cross borders. And what I wanted to find out is, what were their criteria. So anyway, I went to Europe, went to 2 Codex meetings, and found out that the World Health Organization and the World Trade Organization, that's the second one, they were promoting synthetic supplements, low potency. They were allowing member nations in the World Health Organization to use foods, adulterated foods, arsenic, mercury, etc. They would allow the highest levels. So we began to realize that our supplements were under attack, and we know that. We know that as medications have become the primary treatment for all disease and health conditions, that the supplement industry, which is now billions of dollars, multi-billion-dollar industry, it's come under attack. And actually, Dr. Veronica, did you know about the recent PBS special where they came right out January 19th bashing supplements? So
Yes.
We're under major attack, and this comes on the heels of a report, the 2014 report on the various deaths by, medications, bee stings, supplements. There are zero, zero deaths caused by supplements. Whereas in my Death by Modern Medicine book, which I updated in 2014, I found 750,000 premature deaths due to drugs, medical interventions, dying of a bed sore in a nursing home. I added them all up because the statistics are all there. They can't be covered up, but it just takes people to unearth them. And I'm going to, we can finish here because I'm saying that people have to take responsibility for their own health. You cannot go to a doctor these days and expect to be told how to stay healthy. You will just be offered a prescription medication.
And so where is it? What has happened that we have ended up there? Because I meet people every day, every week, talk to them a lot, who would rather go to their doctor under the Unaffordable Care Act and get a prescription for free than to make an investment in their health. How did we get to the point where this is what the situation is? How do you believe that happened?
Well, it's got to be a combination of many factors. When the economy crashed in 2008, it became even more massively stressed. They just don't have time to take care of their health or exercise or cook their own food. The health care is focused on drugs and medicine, and they promote PBS specials, which the public pays for, to tell you that you need the drugs. You're scared. It's fear-based constantly. And even in the supplement industry, there's fear-based selling. I have had consults with people who are on 300 to 500 different supplements a day.
Whoa.
Just going to, this one person was going to a nutritionist. Every time she went, it was another dozen different supplements because she had so many symptoms. And in the middle of it, it was symptoms from having too many supplements. So it's so commercialized, the allopathic medicine, which I call allopathetic medicine, and the commercialization of natural medicine puts us in the same ballpark of people being sold supplements as a fear-based mechanism so that they won't develop diseases. But if you don't eat a proper diet, and in my world, it's about getting your proper minerals. I've spent the last number of years since I attended the Codex meetings trying to encourage people to take food-based vitamins and minerals that are well absorbed. And actually, I finally had to start my own company, and I have a handful of supplements that are doing extremely well because they are well absorbed. And this is my focus, is no longer just talking and writing my 33 books and 110 Kindles because people don't have time to read. They just want to be told what to do. And if a doctor tells them what to do, they'll take the pill. If I tell them what to do, they'll take my supplement. So, I mean, it is kind of a losing battle, but like they say in the Bible, it's for whosoever will. If you do a bit of homework, take supplements that really work, then you stick with it and you stay healthy and you stay out of doctors' offices.
Yes. Well, one of the strategies that I use with my clients is supplements on a short-term basis. And so we start out with something. I'm like, we have to get you together, and then we're going to reassess. You're going to reassess in 3 months. We're going to reassess because I don't want you taking 100 million different things all the time. You don't necessarily need them all the time. And I also talk about, listen, there are things out there, the phytonutrients, the minerals, the names that you haven't heard of, but it is really important to get high quality supplements that you know that what's in them is really what's in them. But on the other side, there's also a lot of people who their body is so broken, especially their digestive system, that no matter what they take, they're not going to absorb it also. So have you come across people that they're broken, and so it's you got to fix it in a particular way to make sure that they're absorbing their food and their supplements?
Exactly, perfect words. I've written a blog that's titled "Too Toxic to Detox." where people are just in such a broken state. And what I do there is I get people on external treatments, doing saunas, doing Epsom salts baths, doing clay baths, everything external. Because some people, their body is on such hyper alert from being so toxic that anything they take, even if it's something that's good and beneficial, their body will react negatively to it and throw it out. And again, that's where, I don't know if in our last conversation I talked about my products, but when you've got something like my magnesium, which is 100% absorbed at the cellular level, it doesn't even have to have an intact digestive system in order to absorb it. And something like spraying that type of magnesium on your skin, you'll get the absorption in your cells. So these are the intricacies that we have to develop and work with now because people have become so toxic. I mean, the medications that people talk about, antibiotics will kill off your good and bad bacteria and allow yeast to overgrow in your intestines. And medicine does not even acknowledge the possibility of yeast overgrowth. Yet I've written books on yeast and have treated it for decades. And this yeast, Candida albicans, it produces 178 different toxins that are absorbed even through a gut that's not intact. They'll be absorbed into the bloodstream, and they'll cause brain fog, they'll cause joint pain, dizziness, and all kinds of symptoms that nobody can identify. And symptoms that doctors can't identify, then they begin calling it depression or anxiety. So, yes,
wow.
we're in such a state with our yeast overgrowth, lack of minerals in the soil, which, I mean, Dr. Veronica, I have people who've consulted me who are on a 100% raw diet, or they're on these crazy 140 ounces of green drink a day, and they're suffering heart palpitations and leg cramps, which is magnesium deficiency until proven otherwise. And they say, how can that be? I'm eating all this green stuff. Well, if your green stuff is not grown on soil that has magnesium in it, it doesn't even matter. So we've got soil depletion. I mean, we're adding up the list. The stress, people working 2-3 jobs, the lack of proper food, eating out, GMO foods. It sounds horrific, but I say to people, try to get yourself some organic food. Try to encourage your local organic farmers to use minerals on their soil. Take some supplements that are well absorbed, and try to take care of your own health. And, yesterday I did an interview and someone was talking about the PBS special, and said, well, what do we do? Who's going to lead us in this revolution? I said, I'd rather not be a revolution and have myself, in the firing line. I'm just a rebel. I'm a rebel who takes care of my body and doesn't go to doctors.
Yes. Well, I want to remind you that this is Wellness for the Real World. I'm Dr. Veronica on drveronica.com. I'm talking to Dr. Carolyn Dean. She talks by death by modern medicine, but now we're talking about minerals and especially magnesium. Actually, magnesium is something that I realize is deficient in so many people. It is very, very important to your heart, your muscles, just practically everything. Rarely do people talk about the minerals that are missing from our diet. Everybody's worried about the vitamins, the ones that you know about. A, B, C, D. Everybody's talking about vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin D. Well, guess what? If you don't have the proper minerals in your body, all bets are off. Even if you're eating organic and you're a raw foodie and you think that you're doing everything correct. So I want to ask Dr. Dean, though. Dr. Dean is Dr. Dean. She's an MD and a naturopath. Tell me, how did you end up getting both degrees? Because that's a lot of work.
Well, it was back at the time when there were no naturopathic schools up in Canada. So I had a real focus on natural health and nutrition. I went to medical school just because that was the only thing I could get into that would give me the background I wanted. And when I got out, then I started doing my naturopathic training. I always was focused on natural medicine, and it's served me well because, up to the stage that you need drugs, there are so many things that you can use, but doctors are never trained in that. And it has been since I was in medical school in the mid-'70s that this lifelong drug intake, the preventative use of drugs for cholesterol and all other chronic diseases came about. When I was in medical school in the mid-'70s, we were taught to use drugs short-term until the body could recuperate and have the ability to take care of itself. And now someone has a heart arrhythmia, which is a magnesium deficiency until proven otherwise. Someone has a heart arrhythmia, they go in the hospital, and they are put on about 6 drugs. Oh, well,
True. It's true.
Take a statin in case your cholesterol becomes elevated. And
so we can kill your
pressure.
heart even more.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's, we can laugh about it, but you and I both know we talk to the people who are just beaten down into the ground with their 6 heart drugs because they figure, well, that's the end of it. And doctors feel that's the end of it, too. They never see people getting better. And they keep saying, well, you have to stay on the drugs because we can't cure atrial fibrillation. My latest book on Kindle, Atrial Fibrillation, Remineralize Your Heart, I've got incredible testimonials from people who remineralize their heart and they cured their atrial fibrillation. So we know it's possible, but when you're in a medical situation and you're on 6 medications that are draining your magnesium, how on earth are you going to treat a magnesium deficient condition?
Yes. And what I tell people is, listen, there's so many people in America, you are on fire when you walk into your doctor's office. And we, as conventionally trained Western doctors, have been taught how to put out the fire. So we spray on the high pressure hose. But then once the fire goes out and the hoses are turned off, you have to rebuild the heart. You have to rebuild the body. Somebody has to rebuild. And so those of us who are holistic, who are treating people with homeopathy, I love homeopathy. It's so wonderful. Homeopathy, holistic therapies, vitamins, nutrients, food, readjusting. We are the ones who are rebuilding your house. And yes, it is possible to get a cure from these diseases that you're told that are uncurable. Yes, it is. And so I just want to have people know that there is hope. There's something out there besides Lipitor. There's something out there besides aspirin to keep you from getting heart disease and heart attacks. There's something there that you can do, something that you can use that's not going to hurt you, is actually going to rebuild you. And so I got to get Russell in here because I know he's like chomping at the bit to ask some questions, and he loved talking to you before. So Russell, jump in now and say something.
Okay. Dr. Dean, it's good to talk to you again.
Thanks, Russell.
I have a question for you. I myself, I've been to 2 different doctors, excuse me, who both told me, who actually scolded me for taking supplements, and told me to stop. And they cited, one of them cited a Consumer Reports study a few years back where they examined the various supplements taken off the shelves from different stores, and even from big chains like GNC, who you would think you can trust, they would not even find the ingredients listed on the label in the compound, or they would find different compounds. And they pointed out to me, of course, which I already knew, that there's no FDA for supplements. There's no there's no overseeing body to check quality.
Well, that's
what do
not
you think
true.
about that?
There's a number of layers there, Russell, as you know. The PBS special tried to say that too, but if you read my blog on the PBS and supplements, just put in PBS supplements in my name, I go through the different layers of how the PBS tries to put down supplements. What happens with the FDA is we have the DSHEA Act, which protects the supplement industry and protects the public. What happens with the supplements is that the supplement industry cannot put anything out that's dangerous. Even the FDA on drugs does not say that the drugs have to be helpful. They say they have to be harmful. We know that isn't even true. So the ingredients in the supplements are regulated by the FDA for adulteration and misbranding. And so they are followed. If a supplement company does not want to, get their license pulled, etc., they comply, which is what I do with my supplements. But there is such a huge market out there that there are a lot of companies, including drug companies, that are making supplements that are synthetic, that don't have in them what they're supposed to have in them. And that's partly why I got into selling a few supplements, because I want to make sure that they're perfect and not adulterated. But even then, I've had a situation where a so-called lab has taken a product that they say is mine. They haven't gotten it from me. They've said it doesn't have in it what it says it does. And if I want to get that lab test expunged, I have to pay them money. So there's huge, horrible bribery and corruption going on at every level. And doctors don't know what to say about it. They'll look at the consumer reports, but then the fact of the matter about supplements is doctors do not learn anything about supplements in medical school. They can do 200 hours of biochemistry like I did. They can look up at the charts and see the Krebs cycle, which is the energy-producing cycle in the body producing ATP. They can see the 6 of the 8 steps of that cycle requiring magnesium, but it doesn't get into their clinical application. And that's where we're sorely lacking in the proper leadership of the public in the use of supplements, because it's up against the drug companies don't want supplements sold. They want to control them themselves so that they don't interfere with drugs.
Yes, and this is why there's Wellness for the Real World, so we can continue to educate people what is really going on out there. And I recommend that you find practitioners who can help you manage your health. You need a team of people. So I don't tell people to throw away their conventional doctor, but a lot of people want to throw them away. I get it. I've been there, done that. I've seen it. But you need a team. And so that means that not just your conventional doctors, which you have an endocrinologist, a heart doctor, a primary care doctor. You have to have an acupuncturist, an acupressurist, a chiropractor, a naturopath, a trainer, somebody in homeopathy, herbals. You have to have a team of people who are going to know what to do at the proper time. And then if it's something that's not in their lane, they'll say, this is not my lane. I don't know about that, but I do know someone who can help you with that. I think in traditional medicine, conventional medicine today, we just say, oh, they're quacks. Like, I'm a medical intuitive. I see things, I can read people's energy very accurately without meeting them at all. And so people love to call me a quack because I do something that they cannot explain based on scientific double-blind studies. It works very well to help people. And so I think we've gotten into this country where the studies, which are controlled by the pharmaceutical industry and by the people with the purse strings, the studies are what we all look at and read, but we don't realize that even those studies are interpreted to be able to sell people stuff that's bad for them. Comment about those studies selling, even how they interpret the data to make it seem like it's something that's not.
Yes, exactly. In Death by Modern Medicine, I speak about that quite a bit, where you can Google scientific studies, problems with them, illegalities. It's rampant where researchers are actually hired by drug companies to put the focus in a certain way on a study. And see, all they need to do is have the headline say something like cholesterol drug important or improves heart disease. But then when you read the details of the study, which I do, it turns out this drug may be 5% better than the last one. But people just look at the headings. Or conversely about supplements, they'll say supplements are dangerous and could kill you, but they can never prove that. So it is all about the media perception and the headlines, and it's the scare tactics, which, as you said at the outset, people will get their free drugs because they're afraid of doing otherwise, and they go to their doctor with side effects of these drugs and are told, no, it's all in your head. Here, take this other drug for the side effect of the first drug. So I don't know, I'm afraid it sounds like we're being so negative here as if people can't get out of this quandary, but again, I'll say, if people can get organic, non-GMO foods, learn who their farmer is, take some food-based vitamins and some well-absorbed minerals. You can follow my work at my website, which I'm sure you'll give out.
Yes.
And follow someone who's done their homework, who's been around for decades, like myself and Dr. Veronica, to get our opinion, where, we will tell you what we've been up against these many years, where people are trying to pat you on the head and say, just do what I tell you. We're trying to tell you to do your homework, and then when you take something, it does have to work within 3 months, and if it doesn't, you put it aside. And that can go for drugs too, except you have to be very careful about weaning off your medication so you don't have a rebound of your condition.
Yes, and I'm talking with Dr. Carolyn Dean. drcarolyndean.com is where you can reach her. I'm Dr. Veronica, drveronica.com, and you can get information there. We are both happy when people send in the contact form and ask us questions that have to do with health. We can guide you, and we guide people. I tell people come, and I'm like, no, I don't take over your primary care. I'm going to coach you. We're going to sit knee to knee, and I'm going to teach you, and you're going to implement, and your body is going to be the lab. And so either it's going to work or it's not going to work. And if it doesn't work, it should work in a reasonably quick period of time. You should start seeing results. And when I tell people start seeing results, I'm saying 1 to 2 weeks, you should start seeing some differences. A lot of times it's much quicker than that. But I want to thank Dr. Carolyn Dean for her work and doing everything that you've been doing, going in, being outspoken, being a prolific author. People can go get her books on Amazon.com. On my site, drveronica.com, I will have links for Dr. Dean so that you can be able to find her and find her books on Amazon. She's going to be a go-to guest whenever there's something hot that comes up, because you want to know exactly what is. Realize when you're watching those commercials on TV and you see the couple strolling around, what's happening? They're telling you all the side effects. They're making you feel good. So there's cognitive dissonance. This is what they tell you. They're making you feel good as they tell you all the things that are going to hurt you, not help you, but hurt you. And it's true. That's called informed consent. It's true. So I recommend America, you begin to listen to people like Dr. Carolyn. Of course, I'm here on Wellness for the Real World because out there in the real world, you got to know what to do. So Dr. Carolyn Dean, keep doing your work. I want to make sure that you know where to find Dr. Carolyn Dean at drcarolyndean.com. She also has some interesting work. Remember, magnesium, and more magnesium. You need the minerals, not just the vitamins. I've seen people get some remarkable results from magnesium. So Dr. Dean, thank you for being on Wellness for the Real World. Russell, thank you for chiming in and answering questions. I'm Dr. Veronica, Wellness for the Real World. You can reach me at drveronica.com. I'd love to hear from you. Please keep tuning in, and we're going to bring you more interesting people so that you can master your body and your health.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Revolution podcast. If you want to hear more on how to bring wellness into your life, visit drveronica.com. See you all next week. Take care.